There's another storm on the horizon and it's full of books. Welcome back to Bookstorm, the series on my channel where I guide you through a bookish storm. It's a new year, but that reader storm is still raining down books. So grab your umbrellas and let's do this thing. Let's kick it off with our reader oath. On today's episode of Bookstorm, Jesse promises to fill up your hearts with a greater love for books, and will have you wanting to leave the video ready to pick up a book and read the night away. Signed, Jesse the Reader. Next up, we have recent book pickups sponsored by Bloomsbury and Penguin Teen. The first book that I got is actually a sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and that is A Heart So Fierce and Broken. This is a part of the Curse Break series, and this is the second book. Again, the first book is A Curse So Dark and Lonely. Due to the fact that this is a sequel, obviously I can't tell you too much about it, but I will tell you a little bit about the first book and then kind of give you some vague things about this book. I myself haven't even read the description of this because I'm afraid of spoilers. Sometimes those descriptions just be given too much away. A Curse So Dark and Lonely follows two different characters. First up, we follow Rin, who has been cursed and has destroyed everything he's ever known, including his family and his kingdom. Then we follow Harper, who is dealing with a lot of financial and family issues. She one night sees this guy carrying this girl away, and she's like, that's not gonna happen on my watch. That is some shady business. So she goes and tries to stop this guy, and the next thing she knows, this guy has pulled her into Rin's world. Basically, Rin and Harper begin to work together in order to try to figure out a way to break the curse. This first book was such an unexpected treat. It's like when you're trying something that you think you're not gonna like and then it just smacks you in the face with greatness and you realize how wrong you were for being skeptical going in. That's the situation I had with this book. And the reason for that being is the fact that it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and Beauty and the Beast is one of my least favorite Disney movies. Not that this is based off the Disney movie, it's more so based off the original fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast. Even though I don't love Beauty and the Beast, I love Belle. Shout out to her for instilling a love of books to children everywhere. She's the OG book influencer. It took the original story structure of Beauty and the Beast and just kind of broke it and restructured it, and I was all about it. There's a character in this one that I began to just like hardcore stan, like I am a ride or die for this character, and I believe we're getting their perspective in this book, so that makes me super happy. The first book made me want to dive right into the sequel, so I'm gonna do just that. Hopefully someone get me a diving board because I'm going full force into this book, even if I end up belly flopping. Let's go! Next up, I have here The Conference of the Birds, which is the fifth book in the Peculiar series. I finally read A Map of Days in November of last year, so I am fully ready to dive on into this book. Because of the fact that this is the fifth book in this series, I can't say much about this one, and I'm also avoiding the description for this one as well because I don't want to be spoiled. Heck no, not for one of my all-time favorite series, not happening. So without saying much, in this book, basically we have these kids with powers and they attend this conference for birds, basically like Comic-Con but for birds. BirdCon, if you will. I'm 100% making this up right now, but I'm just saying I would totally attend a Peculiar Con if that were ever a thing. Like, somebody make it happen. I want to attend. I want to live it up with some Peculiars. In the later half of the series, I feel like this series is definitely divided into like two parts. We've got part 1 and then part 2. So in part 2, the Peculiars are in America now, and it's so much more different compared to everywhere we've been so far in the early part of the series in part 1. There's a whole new layer of complications that the Peculiars are facing, and there's also a bit of like a power imbalance happening within our core group of characters, which is definitely a very interesting thing to read about. There's a lot of like rebellion happening within our group, I guess you could say. We get to meet quite a few new characters along the way, which I'm really enjoying, getting to see some new characters, some fresh faces coming into the scene. A Map of Days definitely like set up a new direction for this series, and I'm really excited to see where it goes in the Conference of the Birds, especially because A Map of Days just had me in shambles, and I mean that in a good way. Like, I'm so excited for where this series is going. Like, I am pumped. I actually did a recap for A Map of Days over on the Penguin Teen channel, so if you're wanting to pick this book up but you don't really remember too much about what went down in A Map of Days, I've got you. I will leave a link to that video down below in the description. Be sure to go and check it out. I'm definitely not planning to wait a whole freaking year to read this book. I'm gonna be reading this here pretty soon, so look forward to my thoughts. Next up, we've got Bookish topic breakdown. I went over on my Instagram, asked you guys to submit some bookish topics for me to talk about, for me to break it down, and that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna break it down like a dancer on a dance floor, except there's gonna be less dancing, less music, and more books, and more talking. So let's pick out a topic. Books that have an amazing topic but weren't developed well. Ooh. Ooh, we sipping some tea today. Actually, no, we're not sipping tea today. I'm kind of tired of like the whole, ooh, tea, ooh, shade, ooh, meh. So can we just like bury that in 2019, please, and like come up with something different, something more creative? I don't know what it should be, but I'm just tired of like tea, shade, meh. Let's drop it. But today we're talking about something that grinds my gears, gets my heart racing in frustration, honestly though. Gets me wanting to karate chop a book in half. This is something that I've had a lot of issues with a lot of the books that I've read in the past year, and I'm gonna be doing a video kind of exploring this topic a little bit more, but there have been so many books where I just love the idea. Like, I read the description of the book and I'm like, this concept, it is going to blow my mind. But then I read it and guess what ends up happening? It lacks a great execution of the concept that they were selling with the description. And I believe that there are quite a few factors that really come in and definitely like affect this and make it happen and make these books drown in this abyss of disappointment. As the reader, I'm hoping that they'll send me a life raft and pull the narrative in a different direction, but few are able to pull themselves out of it. For me, I feel like there are two really big things that can kind of affect this. One of them is world building, especially with fantasy. If we're promised this really creative world as the backdrop, and we read it and find that there's this like really tacky backdrop that could flop over on its back before we even finish the book, like that's a bad sign. The other thing for me kind of comes from development of different story beats. So for example, if you're pitching a book to be like enemies to lovers, but the development of that is kind of underwhelming and it's just not done right or fleshed out right, or it's something that's been done over and over and over again, then I'll be kind of disappointed. I will say that I think this is something that definitely comes down to reader preference and also kind of the expectations that you have going into a book. That can heavily affect the enjoyment ranking. These days, when I hear about a book that has this mind-blowing bada bing bada boom boom chakalaka concept, I immediately put on this cape of caution before reading it. Because I'm not about to be bit again by an underwhelming concept execution. I'd rather that underwhelming concept execution trip on a book and die. What-da? Next up, we've got transforming book titles. In this segment, I'm going to be transforming some book titles into the format of the blank of blank and blank. Over the past few years, book titles have been recently falling into the format of a blank and blank and blank. The blank of blank and blank. A blank of blank and blank. Examples of this format are A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Court of Thorns and Roses, or Queen of Air and Darkness. The list goes on and on and on, but my brain hit a dead end. So I'm going to be taking book titles that don't have that format and try to fit them into that format. These books are going to go from books we know to books we don't know real fast. I picked some books at random, so let's transform them. First up, we've got Cinder. This is a Cinderella retelling with a cyborg lead and a sci-fi setting. I'm going to brainstorm some words and try to come up with something here. Cyborg, space, fairy tale, broken, mechanic, repair, plague, kingdom, evil, royalty. Okay, so those are some words I came up with. Now I gotta figure out a title. I like fairy tale. I like plague. I like repair. Oh, I didn't spell it right. I like broken as well. Okay, the new title for Cinder is The Fairy Tale of Plague and Repair. That's the best that I could come up with, and I know it's awful. Like, you might as well put this on the trash title list because that's where it belongs. Fairy tale and plague just don't go hand in hand. They're more like hand and foot. Let's take another whack at this with Windfall. This is the story of a girl who wins the lottery and how her life begins to change around her because of it. Brainstorm time. Money. Obviously. Money, money, money. Fortune. Alter. I'll do shift as another word for alter. Change. Friendship is a big thing in this book. I really like friendship and fortune for sure. You know, I'm gonna add the word curse to this brainstorm because I feel like I have a title in mind now. So let me do a title reveal. The new title is The Curse of Fortune and Friendship. I got the curse inspiration from A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I actually really like this one and I feel like it does a good job of representing this story. A big theme in the book is how like money can alter your friendships or your relationships. So fortune can obviously be a great thing, but it can also be a curse. Like, heck, I wish I had a fortune. Richie Rich, you want to pour some of your dollars into my bank account? I'd appreciate it. But money can also be terrible because it can kind of alter how you picture the world and how people picture you, and also just how you spend your money. All right, the final book title change I'm going to be doing is for Seafire. This is a pirate-esque revenge story about this girl who is out to get revenge on the man who killed her family. Brainstorm time. Captain, feminist, survival, pirates, revenge, crew, mission, warlord, fire, and sea. Wonder where I got those words. Gonna try to come up with something here. I don't know how this is gonna go. We'll see, won't we? Yes, we will. And the new title is A Revenge So Feminist and Fiery. I think this one is fun. It's not necessarily a title that really fits the book that well. The feminist aspect in the book is more so a theme. It's not something that's like outright stated. Like, the crew of pirate women aren't chanting, "We're fiery feminists, we're fiery feminists," as they're sailing the deep blue seas. Like, that does not happen. But we see it in the way that they carry themselves and through their actions. The final segment today is Guess guess that book page count. Pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna have a bit of a scenery change here in a second. I'm gonna be pulling books at random, and I'm gonna have to guess how many pages that book has. There will be a punishment if I get it wrong, and that is I have to write the main character of the book I pulled on my body somewhere if I get it wrong. If I get 5 below or 5 above, I'm calling it we're Gucci. And there is one book where I know the exact number of pages, and if I get to the point where I have 30 names on my body, you bet I'm going straight for that book. Let's go. I've got my Sharpie here so I can write the names on my body. Let's do it. I'm gonna start with everything. I feel like this is around 285 pages. I hope. Let's find out. 310. Dang, I really thought it was closer to like 285 pages. What's the main character's name again? I don't even remember. I just see Amanda Steinberg in my head. Madeline, that's right. All right, Madeline, you're going on my arm. Going out to eat with my family tonight. Can't wait to be tattooed up with all these names on my body. Next, Shadow and Bone. I feel like this one is like almost 400 pages, so like maybe 390? Maybe a little bit less. It looks a little bit less, like maybe 350? Okay, I'm gonna say 350. Oh, wait. Dang it! 358. I missed that 5-page cushion that I gave myself. Dang it! Let's write Alina's name on my body. Should I write her on my face? I might as well, you know, just go for it. I don't know how to do this in the viewfinder though. Nah. Oh god, that's so bad, isn't it? That's pretty bad. Whatever. Next. Jacoby's the next one. It's pretty slim. I keep going for books that are kind of slim because I feel like I can kind of gauge where it's at. But clearly I can't because I have names on my body right now. This one looks like it's a solid 300 pages, but I feel like I should go like a little bit more than 300, just like a little bit more. I'm gonna say 310. I'm gonna say 310 pages. You've got to be kidding me. It's 299 pages. Had I gone with 300, I would have had it. I had that cushion room. Dang it. The main character of this is Abigail, I believe. Yes, Abigail. Even though it's led to believe that it's Jacoby. I'm gonna try to write with my left hand onto my right arm. Abigail. Oh my gosh, this looks like a 4-year-old's writing. Probably worse than a 4-year-old's writing if we're being honest. Abigail. Okay, next book. A List of Cages. I think this is like 300 solid. I'm not gonna add any cushion to it. I'm just gonna go with my gut and say 300. Oh, dang it. It's 310 pages. I should have added the cushion. I should have gone with 305 because then I would have gotten it. I'm gonna spice it up and write it on my wrist. I've always wanted a wrist tattoo. More so on this side, not on this side. Next. Okay, I'm gonna go with If You Come Softly by Jacqueline Woodson. This one is super short. I'm saying this one's like 195 pages. Like I don't feel like it's quite 200 pages, but I feel like it's almost 200 pages, or is it like a little bit less? Is it like 185? Whew, I'm gonna say 190. That's what I'm gonna say. Please be right. Please be right. Please be right. Man, it's 181 pages. I'm gonna be wearing long sleeves tonight to the restaurant. This is so terrible. Not left-handed. Ellie. Next. I'm gonna go with More Happy Than Not. I'm gonna say 260. Please, I don't want to write any more names. 293. I was wrong. I'm gonna go with The Copper Gauntlet because I looked at this page number the other day for a video that I filmed and I feel like I can kind of remember it. I think it's like 295 pages. 264 pages. Gotta write Callum's name on my body. Can I just write Cal? I'm just gonna write Cal. You know what? I'm in charge here. Cal it is. That was so bad. Next. I'm gonna say this one is... This seems pretty close to If I Come Softly. This one must be like 200, right? I think it's 200. I'm gonna say 205. 205. Should I give it the cushion? I'm giving it the cushion. 208 pages. Success! I don't have to write any more things on my body. Holla, 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 holla. This game was fun. Kind of. It would have been fun without all these names having to be written on my body, but I made it out of there. We're done. Dunzo. Mic drop. Book drop. Holla holla. Let's get out of here. That's it for today's episode of Bookstorm. We made it through the storm. We did it together. Actually, you guys did nothing. I did it all, okay? I did all the work today. I got us through that storm. Now that I guided you through the storm, it's time for you to go pick up a book and read the dang book. Let me know down below in the comments what book you guys are reading. Also, let me know down below in the comments if you have any suggestions for segments that you would like to see in upcoming Bookstorm episodes. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.